Welcome to this episode of Inside PTI. Today we're going to be talking about cover crops. What are we doing at the PTI farm in regard to cover crops? Have we been successful or have we had some failures? And I think we've had all of the above, and we'll share that today. Now, why do we want to do a cover crop? Well, I think there's multiple benefits. I think cover crops can prevent soil and wind erosion. I think those are some great advantages. Improving soil's physical and biological properties, soil health. How about scavenging nutrients from the soil? I think that'd be fantastic. Suppression of weeds, improving the availability of water holding capacity. I think that's a great thing that we need to evaluate with cover crops. And then, can we help break pest cycles as well, having a different crop growing at a different time of the year? I think that is something that we need to consider as well. So we're using cover crops, and one of the questions we get a lot is, what cover crops are we growing? And anytime we plant a cover crop, we do like a multi-species seeding at the farm, but we are using a lot of annual ryegrass, cereal ryegrass, and we're trying to put in some brassicas, some radishes in as well. We've used things like oats as a cover crop to plant in the fall. We know that's not going to overwinter, so that's been somewhat easy to implement into a cover cropping system. But by far, the ryegrasses have been probably the most successful for us and most popular. I get this question a lot is, how are you guys planting or how are you seeding a cover crop at the PTI farm? And we're doing it a couple different ways. I'm still trying to figure out what are the easiest ways, the best ways to seed a cover crop. We have used aerial seeding. We've got an airport real close to us, just down the road from us, so we're bringing airplanes in. And you're looking at a crop duster here. And the spray boom is off this crop duster, and we've got a diffuser on the front of it where we can load this plane with cover crop seed, and we can seed cover crop from the air. So I like this because we can get in a little earlier while the crop is still out into the field, whether that be corn or soybeans, get that cover crop seeded. We just need to get a rain on this after we get it applied. And we've seen this be fairly successful. Now, I want to take you to the PTI farm this past fall where we were using this airplane to apply our cover crops, to seed our cover crops. And you can see how high that plane is. This is in our sandbox area. If you were able to come out to PTI and plant in our sandbox, this is how we kind of try to improve the soils after planting on this all summer long. But we've got our airplane up here seeding this cover crop, trying to get this cover crop established. And again, this is early fall. We did run into a problem with just rainfall. It was an excellent fall in regard to tillage work because we were so dry. But this aerial cover crop seeding really struggled because we didn't have enough rain to get it up and going. So the picture you're looking at on the screen now, right in the center of the screen, that's my aerial seeding. And we did this whole field with aerial, but I was not happy with the stand. And so what I did was I had to come back in with a grain drill and reseed this because we just had too thin of a stand. And I left this in the middle just so we could keep evaluating what that aerial crop seeding looked like. It's just way too thin out in the field. And you can see it right to the row on both sides where we came in with the grain drill. And there's a picture of that grain drill. We're using a sunflower grain drill, and it's giving us good seed to soil contact, and we can get that seed into moisture and get it going. With a plane, it's just on top of the ground, and you need that water, rainfall, to get it into the ground to get that crop going. Right next to the sandbox, some of that bare dirt that we were seeding, and we also went into some cornfields trying to get cover crop established too with our airplanes. And we had the same problem. We just had very little growth that ended up getting established inside the crop, and it failed as a cover crop seeding for us. I just took these the other day. Here at PTI, you can see the drill to the left of the screen and then the aerial seeding to the right. It's just very, very, very thin stands. We're also looking at ways to look at different concepts of seeding cover crops. This is a kind of a rotary hoe, if you will, with an air system on it. We're partnered up with APV. There you see that yellow and red tank up front. That's an air system where we can blow cover crop seed onto this toolbar. And the toolbar is kind of like a strip freshener. You see the back wheels. They're kind of like, I refer to them as rotary hoe wheels on steroids. They're kind of heavy. They're bigger than a rotary hoe wheel. But we blow the cover crop seed in, we'll make strips. And then we'll try to get them into the soil to get good seed to soil contact and get this cover crop up with a fast start. The thing I like about this strip freshener unit is I can seed cover crops on whatever row width I want. I can move these row units along the toolbar. Right now it's set up for 20-inch rows, but I can do it in 30-inch rows, or we could try to move them a little bit narrower than 20s as well. But I like this because I can strip the cover crop seed and then come in with a strip till bar, make my strips in between, and then plant in a non-cover crop situation in the spring. It's a lot easier to handle a lot of the biomass and a lot of the vegetation with this type of system. But this one's been interesting to look at and evaluate, and we've had a fair amount of success with this. Matter of fact, growing a cover crop with this type of seeding, we were able to grow over 101 bushel soybeans this past year at the PTI farm. Here's what some of those strips look like. We've got the seeding in between the strip till strips, and in the spring, we just come in and we'll plant right into those tillage strips. The cover crop can be in between the rows. They don't bother us whatsoever, and it's been fairly easy to implement this. We've got other cover crop trials at the PTI farm. I'm kind of excited about 2021. You see some of these replications we've got here on the screen. We're looking at long-term soil health with cover crops. We're going to leave these strips in cover crop right next to areas where it's just bare soil. We'll grow regular corn and soybeans just like we've done for decades. But I want to look at the long-term soil health. What kind of benefits are we looking at? We're doing this in first year corn, corn after corn, and then soybeans after corn. So we'll get a good look at different rotations. If you look at the picture on the screen, I really like what we're going to be able to do with nutrition as well, especially in regard to conceal in growing corn. I like the idea of managing our nitrogen a little differently in a cover crop scenario, having conceal on the planter. So we're going to have some nice side-by-sides out in the field, and can't wait to see some of these this year in 2021 throughout the growing season at the PTI farm. I'm really excited about the ability this year for us at the PTI farm to do drone-based cover crop seeding. Now I can kind of time the rains. If I know a rain's coming, I can take the drone up and I can do some cover crop seedings. I can also do some really nice side-by-sides with this. We can really go in and be specific where we're going to put our trials. And I think this is really going to open the doors on our cover crop testing. So we're excited about this. If you come to the PTI farm this summer, you'll get to see some of this in action. So today's Inside PTI agronomy tip of the day is, at the PTI farm, we're working hard to really understand the benefit cover crops can do for soil health. And I really think that when we look at seeding the crop, half the battle is just that. Having a great way to get seed to soil contact and get a really consistent stand. Then we have to look at the length of growing season. Once we get that cover crop established, we have to have enough good weather, warm weather, to get that crop established, get that root system large enough so we can really take care of some of the benefits that cover crop can do for us. I'm excited about what we've got at PTI. Hope you guys can come out and see us this summer, because I think we've got some great trials that I mentioned earlier, and can't wait to show you those. So stay tuned for more details on our cover crop systems here at PTI. In the meantime, that's all the time we have for today. But as always, if you have any questions about anything that we've talked about, you can do two things. One, reach out to any Precision Planting Premier dealer, or you can email us at InsidePTI@precisionplanting.com. We'll see you on the next episode of Inside PTI. Thanks for watching.